I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void. Hello, this is Tammy Taylor, your Manifestation Muse, welcoming you to your Aquarius New Moon reading. This is all planets go time. Important time for you, important time for me. The planets have been retrograde for most of 2018, and now finally there's a thrust toward what we are seeding this year for 2020. Now, before we get into all of that, the reason why the Aquarius new moon is so important all the time, even when planets are retrograde, but now we have all direct, so it's even that much more important, right? Aquarius new moon is all about sharing what we came into the world to share with it. It is such a huge energy that supports our purpose for incarnation. It, in fact, really does buoy our dharma, our energy that connects us to others, that gifting that we have through that energy of Aquarius. Now, of course, here we talk about the Western moon signs as they relate to our emotions, our ego, the solar energy, the earth-centric astrology of the tropical Western perspective. And that is the aspect of ourselves that is reactionary. It's our conscious thoughts for the most part, for those of us who are in tune with Great Mother Speaks, but for other people, it may be a very, very unconscious process. Here, when we talk about unconscious process, we're using the Vedic astrology, the lunar astrology. It is moon-centric. It is cosmologically oriented, and it is the soul astrology. The Vedic astrology is karmic. It is based on what the soul purpose is. It is not limited to North Node, South Node, or 12th house. It is the entire chart laying out what the soul came here to do and how it came here to do it. Now, of course, both birth charts are defaults. We do have the power, because we're spiritual beings, of free will choice. Once our conscious awareness of who we are is activated, and here we know that we are first and foremost dearly loved divine children of the Great Mother, Father God. That's who we are, who are never judged, condemned, or left alone. We're never judged or condemned. There are consequences for our actions. That is karma. And we're never left alone. Our angels, guides, and ancestors are always with us, guiding us, protecting us, helping us to stay in alignment with that dharma, helping us to work out that karma in loving, joyful ways as much as we can stand, as much as we can receive. And so we are here to receive our divine identity. As this channel is designed, it has come forth through the inspiration of Great Mother to speak directly to her children most alienated and estranged from her unconditional love due to our birth mother experience. And my area of life coaching is the specialization of what I coined mama drama trauma. It is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. Now, in cases where the mother is unable, unwilling, or unavailable to heal her own mama drama trauma, because it is a cycle, it is a pathology, it is a family cycle. She is unable to break it, unwilling, or unavailable. She may have transitioned into another life, She may just not be available for other reasons, addictions, all of these other symptoms of mama drama trauma associated with this dis-ease. It's a planetary disorder. And when we do not have that bond to support our own healing through her or through other maternal figures, we learn to live in loving detachment. Now, that's a difficult thing to do, and it is something that is only achieved, to my knowledge, by going through the dark night of the soul, which is why Dorothy is our narrator, our narration, our narrative that we use here to illustrate what that dark night of the soul journey is along that yellow brick road and ultimately through the dark forest, which leads her back home by reclaiming her power, taking that broom, that phallic symbol back that Great Father symbolized by Oz told her she would have to do for herself. Now, the three, the Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Tin Man, those in our family, those in our lives, in our environment, our neighbors, our friends, our co-workers, in our world are but reflections of us, aren't they, along our yellow brick road? And Aquarius invites us to look very closely at who our mirrors are in our lives at this time, to give us the downloads that we need in order to clearly move forward along our road, along our life's purpose, so that we can share what we have to give, as Dorothy did with the three. Even in her weakness, she was able to share, even if it was just her journey, because it was something that would add something unto them. They all needed help. And don't we on the planet, we all need help. A huge issue that is coming to the fore universally right now is the environment. And the environment is a variant energy of Great Mother Gaia. A healthy planet, though, necessitates a healthy inner world, which is why Great Mother energy is coming forward so powerfully at this time with Cancer in the North Node. At this time of this reading, Cancer is where Rahu is in the Vedic astrology as well. Vedic astrology precedes Western astrology by 26 degrees. And so this is a very fortuitous time for connecting with that inner love, that inner wisdom. Because in the Vedic astrology in April, end of March, April, the energy will be shifting into North Node Gemini, South Node Sagittarius, and we will continue on with it for the duration of this nodal transit. So, if a healthy planet necessitates a healthy inner world, then a healthy perception of the world outer, the Aquarian energy that's coming forth, ruled by Uranus in the Western, the innovation, the creativity, it's beyond creativity, it's inventiveness. It's that spark of eureka that comes from the soul. If that is to be fully healthy and integrated, our inner world, what that energy is, that Capricorn energy is, beside it is also important. Sidereal soul sign. And right now that Capricorn energy is hosting the South Node, or K2 at this time, the release position of this nodal transit. It's time to let go. And hasn't Great Mother set us up for this huge let go at this time with the eclipses that have marked both of our new moon readings since the beginning of this year, with a partial solar eclipse for the new moon reading in January and the full moon reading a total lunar eclipse. So are you ready for your Aquarius new moon reading? Capricorn in the sidereal. I hope you are. because these eclipses have set us up for the innovation that we're ready for, that we need at this particular time. Remember, full moon readings that you just had were and are about the climax of the lunar cycle. So the lunar cycle has already climaxed with that total lunar eclipse. We have now come down decrescendo to this balsamic new moon period, where the downloads have come from your Vedic moon sign, and you have a sense of how to realign, reassess your new moon intentions moving forward, and to ask from your ego mind, your emotional mind, to align with it through these new moon wishes, your aspirations going forward. So enjoy your readings. Pisces, moon sign people, offerings, donations, energy exchange is what I'm getting from you. I'm getting for you isolation, the karmic wheel release. There's a lot that is being given up. Most of you have Aquarius in your sidereal soul sign. In the Vedic astrology, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, which at this particular time is very active in the South Node. Now, this is all about release. It's just all about release. Now, Aquarius is not in the South Node in the sidereals. Sagittarius is where K2 is. And, that's 11th house energy with this Aquarius is what I'm trying to say. And so there's a lot of release as it relates to Aquarian energy, which is, of course, all about being inventive, being able to see into the future, what is coming up for you in 2019. And so, of course, when we're talking about the inner life, the inner world that Great Mother speaks to us in, we are not necessarily consciously aware of these things unless we have a very disciplined practice of our intuitive mind and knowing how to distinguish it from the ego mind, the mind of conditioning. And so the ego mind of emotion from Pisces at this particular time is feeling a lot of release. This is 12th house energy, Aquarius new moon. And what Great Mother is saying for you with the Pachamama card in the center, this waning gibbous root chakra card, is that you don't have time, you don't have the energy to exchange with individuals or environments anymore that are still in denial about your mama drama trauma, about your experience with it, whether it is your mother, whether it's your siblings. It's about friends, people, connections, your groups, your networks, that they've been shook up because of you. For many of you on an unconscious level, those of you who've been working with Great Mother, you've been aware through the reading, she's been working with you for several lunar cycles, I know at least a year, about being ready for this particular time. It's an uprooting time. It is a time of sharing what has been uprooted from your farmhouse. Dorothy here is leaving the farmhouse experience. This running away from the denial of your feelings of dejection, of rejection, and doing it in order to preserve a sense of reality. And we must have that in order to heal, right? We have to acknowledge what's going on. And if we are in an environment that consistently and persistently denies us that opportunity, we must release ourselves from it. So that's what's uprooting. And so The cosmos, our calculus, our birth charts, the lunar cycles, all of the energies are very supportive in us doing our soul work. And when we work with the energies, we find ourselves, quote unquote, on time with it. And that's where I see you are with this significator, Pachamama, in the bosom of Great Mother, taking you in through the ground, the trees, the sea, the fairies to heal this, because this Aquarius new moon in the emotional is in the Capricorn and the sidereal. And so in the Vedic astrology, all of the signs are broken down further into lunar constellations called nakshatras. These star bodies hold the brand, so to speak, of the lunar energy. So this lunar energy being Capricorn, stereotypically, is an energy of realignment, of soul authenticity. It's ruled by Saturn. If you have any questions about that, that's where the South Node is, conjunct Saturn at this time. And so it's a very powerful soul energy. With that, we have 2.5 nakshatras, 3 in Capricorn, roughly. This one is called Shravana for this new moon. It's a very studious nakshatra. It loves to learn. It loves, people born under this nakshatra tend to have, you ever been to someone's house and they just have bookshelves and bookshelves or books stacked all over the place? Might be a Shravana nakshatra baby. Their moniker is the listener. They listen, they pick up things. You know how some people, they just pick up stuff and they just remember it. They're very exquisite with that. And it's intellectual, it's wise, it's good with the spoken word because it can repeat. It has this auditory memory. And for you, this is saying that on a soul level, with this Aquarius in your sidereal, this 11th house energy with that, you have a wisdom at this particular time, Pisces moon people, as it relates to what others have said, what others have done, what others are doing, what others are saying in support or in denial of your MDT. In other words, you know where the cards are stacked right now, and that's the inner work that Great Mother needs you to do, is to acknowledge that and to really see things as they are. What's bringing this up is the Hattar card, the pleasure principle. It's time for you to pursue your bliss. It's time for you to follow your bliss. It's time for you to move forward. This is the second chakra new moon card. That time is now. The second chakras we're always talking about, of course, Vedic astrology. Okay. And so Jupiter rules the second chakra. It rules Pisces. Okay. And so it's time for you. Your new moon is coming up at the end of this lunar cycle. And so this lunar cycle is all about preparation for you to follow your bliss this year, Pisces. You've been doing this work, and take off the rose-colored emotional glasses and get down with that Aquarius soul sidereal sign with what it has downloaded to you about your environment, about this gestation period that you've been in. You've been doing some very purposeful processing, and this is your harvest coming up. This lunar cycle is your transitioning into it, because in your shadow position is Hecate, the crossroads. You may not realize you're at a crossroads. Now, those of you who have been with Great Mother Speaks, you know that you're at a crossroads right now. You know that you were like, okay, Which way do I go now? Okay, because I'm ready to make a move. Okay, and so you're ready to do the Pachamama Earth Mother connection, getting the support that you need at this time. You're done with the denial. You're done with people not listening. You're done with maybe you haven't expressed everything that you've needed to express, which is why this is a throat chakra, crescent moon card. Throat chakra is expressing. And so in the shadow position, Great Mother may be saying that for those of you who have not expressed your needs to others, it is time for you to assert those things about this being your crossroads. This is the scene in The Wizard of Oz when the Wicked Witch tries to take Dorothy's shoes and she's shocked. They're not going to be able to harm your birthright, Pisces moon sign people. They're not going to be able to take your divinity away, which includes your birthright to be happy, healthy, and whole. So don't fear that. Stand tall in your shoes and let them say whatever needs to be said. But what you need to be sure of is that you will be able to walk away from the situation saying, I did say this is not working for me anymore. I do not deserve to be treated in this manner. I do deserve to be treated as a respected human being in my own home. And that's not what's happening. So I'm going to need to do what is best for me. Not pleading, not begging, not explaining, asserting. That's fifth chakra energy. Fifth chakra energy speaks the world into existence. We are created in the image of Great Mother, Father, God. They don't negotiate with us. It's just spoken into existence. And that's what we do when we're living from this space. And so from your sidereal soul sign, that's a space to align with in order to pull this Hecate out of the shadows into the crescent light. It may just be a crescent, but that is who you are this lunar cycle. Because as this Aquarius new moon transitions into the crescent, it will be Pisces energy, that sheath of light coming through. And that light for you, Pisces moon sign people, is to speak your truth with love. What you truly want in this process is Tara. We see centering here, third eye waning gibbous moon energy. This is the last scene in the film before Dorothy is suddenly in her bed back at the farm. She's clicking her heels 3 times. You want to do that. You want to go from the crossroads to your destination that is in your heart of hearts, which is the third eye. That is the heart of hearts. Our heart chakra is the crossroads between the ego and the soul. Our throat chakra speaks life into existence, whether we're conscious of it or not. When we align with our soul, we are conscious, right? And so you're aligning with your desires. You're speaking them to people clearly so that it can never be said you did not articulate what your needs are before you went to take care of them in loving detachment. You want to center in this way. You want to trust that soul guidance, that third eye wisdom, body, mind, and soul. Click 1, 2, 3. That guidance from Great Mother, Glinda the Good Witch. Go ahead and click your heels. You're wanting to do that. And what's going to support you in doing that is Baba Yaga here. She's going to support you. New moon energy, throat chakra energy. You have so much throat chakra energy. The throat chakra is ruled by Mercury, which at this time is in Capricorn Aquarius. Okay, it's going to be moving here pretty soon, but right now it is for this new moon in Capricorn in the sidereal and in Aquarius, and so in the Western, and so you have this 12th house energy going on with all this Aquarius energy. This new moon is in Aquarius, and you have in Capricorn and sidereal, and then you have Capricorn, sidereal, Aquarius, Western, Mercury conjunction here, 12th house energy. And that's where I got the release. That's where I got the, giving up an offering. And so what is being offered here? What's being offered is your true as Jan Levancet says, gut root dirty truth. And that's Baba Yaga, the wild woman. The wild woman just comes out with it. What is true? Now, of course, we want to do that as lovingly as we can. It's not about blame or shame or guilt. You do it the best you can. The important thing, only God knows a man's heart, a woman's heart. Great Mother, Father God knows a man, woman's heart. Okay, let's say that. So if your heart and your intention is to do it with love, but it comes out a different way, the universe still receives that as love. Now, whether or not someone else's ego mind receives it that way, or the point of evolution of their soul receives it that way, is a whole nother matter. But we just want to make sure that the intent is there with Baba Yaga, because that is what is helping you to center, Pisces moon people, that wild woman energy, to speak your mind during this Aquarius moon, because you need to release that. You need to offer that up. There needs to be an energy exchange. You've been downloading all of this stuff, including all of the toxicity from other people and attitudes and behaviors and all of this stuff, kind of mulling over it and meditating over people and your environment and whatnot. It's time for you to detox. Okay. And so Great Mother's giving you some real incentive to do that, because she's saying that what's bringing all of this up is Hathor, the great mother of the ages, the great Egyptian bull mother, who's saying, I birthed the Milky Way, and I see you, my sweet child, and it's time for you to be reborn. Which is what Coventina is telling us here with the card of purification, the waxing gibbous heart chakra card, telling you that it's time to purify, it's time to detox. This is the status of your ego soul alignment. It is detoxing many of you right now. As Great Mother downloaded, opening up here, offering, giving up, sharing, energy exchange, whatever toxicity you've received, recycling it and giving it back, like, no, this is not working for me. Let me give this back to you. I am no longer in denial about this. This is a situation I need to be healed from. And in fact, it would be helpful for you to be healed from too. This is a cycle. You didn't cause it. You have mama drama trauma. Grandma had mama drama trauma. Grandma's mama had mama drama trauma. This is a problem. And I need to do what I need to do to heal it. Now, Coventina is the scene in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy and the three finally do make it inside of Oz's castle, and they're whisked away by the guardsman, who's also Oz, by the way, into the wash and brush up room before they can be presented in front of, quote unquote, Oz's throne. So purification is a refinement process. It's a refinery. You're going through this refinery. You are being recast. Dorothy enters a little girl with ringlets, little ponytail ringlets, and she leaves a young woman, with flowing curls, across her back, and everybody enters one way and leaves another way. That's how you're feeling right now, that you are in that process. Okay, you have Venus conjunct the South Node, which is making this process not as painful as it could be at this particular time. Okay, but you want to be careful with that, because Neptune is squaring it actually in your moon sign. So Neptune is in your moon sign, squaring this energy with the South Node and Venus. And so there can be a lot of resistance to this purification process, but that's not what I'm seeing for those of you viewing this video. Those of you who are watching this, you are ready. You've been doing the work on many levels. The only issue would be to really pay attention to this Jupiter in your 10th house of career. It could be a distraction because you could be getting a lot of opportunities at work. And what happens with that is that the inner work that you've been doing sometimes can be put aside. It can be a distraction. If you start having a lot of career opportunities and a lot of things manifesting in your outer world at work. Now, I caution that simply because our inner world creates our outer world. And if there are issues in the workplace that, and oftentimes they are directly related to this inner work with mama drama trauma, you will see that there will be people in your workplace who have similar energies to those people that have been in your home environment that you're now leaving to establish emotional and a level of physical detachment in order for you to heal. But with Jupiter in your 10th house, it could just be amplified at work and you're not paying attention to it and you're falling right back into the cycle. I don't want that to happen for you. So I want to point that out, to be aware of that and to make those adjustments where those adjustments are needed. And you can do that because Jupiter is going to be there for a year. It's going to be there until October, November. And so that bounty in that area of your life will be there. So you don't have to, in other words, remain attached to a particular job, attached to a particular situation. You can revise that as you feel comfortable to do it. And it may be revised for you with this Uranus in Aries, your second house, because the way you see the world is changing. The way that you make your money can drastically change within the next 2 months or so. So those two are related. So I wanted to definitely bring that up with this detox and this purification. Don't be surprised about that. You're transitioning to your new moon, Pisces moon sign people. So look out for that. Remember, our new moons are for our wishes, for us taking forward what we have surmised, what we've learned from the previous lunar cycle. Okay. And our full moons, so the full moon will be coming up on the 19th is about the climax of the lunar period. And so the climax will be coming up in about 2 weeks from your new moon wishes that you're making now. And so you have, again, this entire lunar cycle before you move into your new moon to make new moon wishes in Pisces. You see, this is what I mean by the graciousness of the cosmos. There's a process. And as we process, we work with that process. Here in the position of why your soul wants to do this centering inner work in order to leave the situation of denial, in order to release yourself from a situation of imprisonment, is because it wants to experience self-compassion through you as you. It wants to feel that same sentiment Dorothy offered up to the Tin Man, to the Scarecrow, to the Lion, of immediate acceptance of who they were as they were along her journey. Your soul wants to feel that from you. It wants to, this heart chakra, this crossroads again, it wants to provide you that sense of divinity, identity in your life in exchange, as an offering, in exchange for your MDT identity. That's what the Yellow Brick Road journey is all about. And the Kuan Yin card is the beginning of that journey, as we see here with Dorothy and the three, and she welcoming them on the journey with her. So this is why your soul wants to center. It wants to center because it wants to be in alignment with you. Click, 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 body, mind, and soul on this healing journey to release mama drama trauma, in order to accept what it is offering, divinity identity. How does it want to do that? It wants to do that by this full moon. Again, second chakra full moon. Second chakra is ruled by what chakras? We're talking about what? Vedic astrology. Jupiter rules Pisces, okay, in Vedic astrology. I know Neptune rules it in the tropical. And Neptune is in your sign right now. So that does nothing but amplify this meaning of this card. This is not a Pisces full moon that's coming up. This is actually going to be a Virgo full moon that's coming up, but this is a second chakra full moon card. So Pisces energy is really important in terms of how your soul wants to do this centering inner work. It wants to do it in a soulful way that allows you to release that MDT identity. The prostitute card, we're all prostitutes. And it's just about, are we selling ourselves out in the process of living our lives, surviving in this physical world the best way we know how? Or are we doing it truly the best way we know how, according to the dignity, the unique soul expression, that Aquarian energy of the soul, which this new moon is inseminating at this time? Are we doing that? Because that's the emotional aspect of it with the Aquarius. On a soul level, it's Capricorn, and Capricorn is conjunct Venus and the South Node with Pluto and Saturn. I mean, it's like, hey, on a soul level, are we ready to shine, Pisces moon sign people, for real, and do it the best way you really know how? Because Pisces is I believe. That's the moniker for Pisces. I believe. If you're working with your sidereal Aquarius moon sign, it's I know. So that's why, we have this back and forth with Pisces moon sign. Do I know, or is it just something I believe? Do I know, or is it just something I believe? Well, here the soul is saying, hey, how I want to do this is by this full moon, I want my Piscean energy to really speak to believing it can live according to what its best truly is. And your best is to own that birthright, is to stand in those ruby red slippers and let them shock who they may. Not everybody wants us to have our ruby red slippers, not because they have something against us, but because they are part of our soul group that is here to refine and purify our soul. I.e., they love us on a soul level, but they manifest in this material world as devils and demons, Saturn, Satan, in order to put a fire underneath us to get done what we came here to do. Fire, the devil, all that. All is good. All is good. All is expression of the great Mother, Father, God. Okay? And so full moon fire, putting a fire underneath you this lunar cycle to get ready for the next. What is happening in the interim is a waxing gibbous moon in the second chakra. The build up to this refining, the build up to this revision is your likely outcome. You will likely be refining the importance you have put on others in terms of their opinions, in terms of their beliefs and their attitudes towards you. You will be revising that. You will be looking at your own beliefs associated with this. This scene is when Professor Marvel, who Dorothy meets on the side of the road when she runs away from home, gives her a reading and cheats by pulling out a photograph of her and Aunt Em to tell her that she has someone that loves her very much. This Eshell card is all about the fertility of your own self-creation. You're not needing to rely on the opinions of other people, the perspectives of other people. Many of you, without this reading, are very certain that you are going to go through a transition. Pisces new moon is this time of year every year. You're hardwired for it, okay? But we get caught up in this world, and with the right energy, the insights are very useful. And even his insight was useful because it made her turn around and go back home to get on the yellow brick road, okay?
like the Scarecrow said, any way you go, it's going to get you there. Whether she would have kept on going her own way, she would have made it there, or whether, any way we go, it's going to get us there. But the important thing is the journey. And there are certain points in the journey, aren't there, that have certain lessons for us. And at that particular point, when he pulled at that picture, he was guilting her into going home. And so the question I leave you with as you devise your new moon wishes for this Capricorn, Aquarius, new moon, Pisces, moon sign people is, are you allowing the beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors of others to supersede the divinity and the birthright that you know is yours? Or are you, as Ishel, the Mayan goddess of fertility, of self-creation, of the lunar cycles, going to make your own assessment based on that divinity and move forward into your Pisces new moon as the gestation phase of this cycle ends? Which are you going to do? If you're still feeling a sense of trepidation, that you are still ingesting all of this, might I suggest new moon wishes for you. And wishes, of course, are ego-oriented. So these are Aquarius new moon wishes. And we want the ego to align with the soul, right? And so in order for the ego to do that, it has to have a conscious what? Intention. That's a new moon wish. So the ego has to align consciously. We work with the energies of the cosmos. We are made of stars, and so we work with them. In the nakshatra of Shravana, listening from the downloads you received. If you're still in trepidation, might I suggest for you a new moon wish might have to do with your attitudes toward humanity. Asking Great Mother, I want all fears around my identity with Mama Drama Trauma to be easily and effortlessly released. You might want to easily find yourself interested in others who support my divinity identity. I want to have a more brilliant, inventive worldview. I want to allow myself to seek outcomes that are good for everyone involved. Those may be some of the wishes for you. And for those of you who are ready to take on the torch this lunar cycle in full transition and anticipation of planting the seed in alignment with your soul consciously, that you look at some wishes associated with your cliques, networks, your openness to being forthright about your emotions, about how you feel, even your your idiosyncrasies and your own, I'm trying to say eccentric, what do they call it? Eccentricities, being eccentric. I can't get it all together. But, I want to easily find myself open to my idiosyncrasies, my uniqueness, in order to be more open and friendly to others. I want to easily and effortlessly give and receive platonic love that's on an even level, not always having to take care of people or always letting people melt and meld you into something. You already are becoming, and you are already in a position to assert who and what you are as this release process continues for you and the moon moves into your first house in about 30 days from now. You want to be very aware of any particular health issues related to circulation, spasms, cramps, ankles, calves, or maybe even varicose veins at this time. Again, thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary.